Hey guys, this is Patrick from closR. We're just making this demonstration to pretty much show you guys how you would use the portal in terms of becoming a buyer's agent for a client. So as you know, our portal is based off of this flow chart over here. I'm not going to delve too deeply into it, but there's only essentially four types of leads we get as agents. So we either have buyer leads, renter leads, seller leads, or landlord leads. We're going to talk about this left side first, and then we'll get more into the listing agent side. So if your leads are buyers and renters, of course, your ultimate goal is to represent them as a buyer's agent. Once they become leads, they start as leads. What happens next is you sign them to an agency agreement. Then you sort of have them as clients, as either a buyer or renter, and you do showings in which you dead some showings, and hopefully, there's less dead, but you match them, and then you eventually close. So this is the life cycle which we're going to take you today within the portal. So let's start. Dashboard it'll just show your statistics in terms of how many active buyers or active renters you have within the buyer's agent portal. The listing agent statistics, you're going to see how many active sales and how many active rentals you have. And of course, we'll have a commission structure over here where for every lead you close, they'll have an ability to have your monthly statistics from the money you made, yearly and lifetime statistics. So let's start with a lead that is essentially a buyer or renter so that we can go through that left side of the life cycle. So over here, let's just delete everything here. Let's say you have no leads. So what you're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to add them manually right over here, where you're going to be able to select what type of lead they are. So for example, let's say it's a hot lead, and then we're going to name this person blue person. Let's say this is their phone number, this is their email. Let's say they're moving in with one adult, zero children. Over here, you're going to be able to select their preferences. So let's say, for example, what borough they want to be in. Let's say they want to be in Queens, they want to be in Astoria, or if they want multiple boroughs, you can also select multiple boroughs. You can also have a function over here where you can search, if you don't want to scroll down to look at which borough. So let's just do this example that this blue person wants to be in Astoria, Queens, in a condo or one plus bedrooms, one plus bathroom. Let's say they don't have a pet, and then let's say their financing type is cash with, let's say, a $600,000 budget. Okay, so once we add that, as you can see, now this profile is created over here for Blue Person as a lead. You're going to be able to put notes over here as well. So as you progress them, everything is date and time stamped. And as you can see, it's also updated over here in the main portal page. Okay, so you're not only can you add, leads individually over here, we also have this ability to do what we call a bulk import. So if you have many leads, let's say you don't want to add them all one at a time, you're going to be able to download our Excel template. So I have an example for you right here of our Excel template. As you can see, it's based on these four categories over here. Lead type, which is either cold or hot, first name, last name, phone number, and email. As you can see, we have some, purposely left some columns, some, sections blank because sometimes in leads, you don't have a phone number or you don't have an email or you don't have a first name or so maybe you don't have a name at all. You don't have a phone number. So what you're going to be able to do is you're actually going to be able to drag and drop over here and import all your leads as once. So as you're working through it, you could see that, the time that you uploaded the lead, and then as we go into it, you can edit the preferences if this client chooses to work with you. So let's go back to our example of Blue Person over here. Now, let's say Blue Person wants to sign our agency agreement and have us represent them as a buyer's agent. So that's great news. So let's just say, hey, agency agreement sent and signed, right? So say that, for example, you could put the notes here. We'll hit this button over here that says signed, and the portal is going to prompt you, say, hey, this lead is now going to be transferred to the buyer's agent portal. And we hit confirm, where you're going to have all the information auto-populate based on what you pressed. If everything is confirmed over here, you'll just press this button, add buyer. And as you can see, now this person appears as a buyer's agent. And in the leads section, they're going to appear as an inactive lead because you signed them. So they're no longer a lead. You're actually representing them in the buyer's agent portal as a buyer. It's separated by buyers and renters, but let's go back to the case of Blue Person. So in this situation, as you can see, you can open up Blue Person's profile, all the notes carried over as well. And we're going to have to do what we call a match finder. So in this situation, we hit find matches, and all of the live listings are actually going to pull for Blue Person based on the criteria that we have already predetermined or selected from before. So as you can see, right now we have 86 results where we're going to be able to save them all. If you ever need to, manipulate the data over here, let's say Blue Person's criteria increased and now he wants a 2-bedroom. Okay, now there's only 28 results. Okay, so let's just take this example. Okay, now Blue Person wants a 2-bedroom. And now we're going to be able to save these 28 results. So what's going to happen? You hit the Save Matches button right over here, and they're going to all be saved within Blue Person's profile. As you can see, we have the 28 that's saved into the potential matches section over here. And then let's click on the tiles. As you can see, there's the pictures, there's the brokerage, there's the agent, and you can even write notes over here of what happened within the listing. So let's say, for example, now we're going to be able to manipulate each listing for this particular client. Let's say the Blue Person doesn't like this one. You could status this listing as dead. And as you could see, what happened was it moved the listing over here to dead. You can also manually move them over here with between the columns, or you can, status them like this, and you're going to be able to move them. So let's say in this case, Blue Person decides that they like this particular property, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to hit this match button over here. And now it's going to move Blue Person from your buyer's agent tab into a match category. So the match category is essentially the most important category within the portal because that's where you'll make your money. So as you can see over here, in this Blue Person example, they are matched to this particular property that you said. As you could see again, all the notes carried over, and now we're going to be able to status it based on the life cycle of a sale listing. So for example, let's say now they want to submit an offer. As you could change the status, it auto populates or notates the status change. And you can say, offer sent for 600,000 or whatever situation is. Okay. And as you can see over here in the notes, here you're going to be able to see where all your deals are. Let's say, for example, in this case, now they, I don't know, counter offer, right? So now counter offer for 700,000, let's say, in case where you're going to be able to make the notes all the way up until the point where you get to closing. Once you hit this close button, you're going to be able to hit confirm, enter the compensation, and that's going to reflect onto the dashboard section over here. Here you can easily see essentially where all of your deals are over here, whether they're active or inactive in terms of a sale or a rental. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that. Feel free to contact me. Thank you guys so much. And we'll talk about the listing agent section next.